PFP family, what's happening? On this edition of Facebook Live, we're going to be sharing with you something that will never go out of style.
Ever.
No matter how many cell phones we get, no matter how many versions of the iPhone, which we're on like 12?
X, I think it's, yeah.
I think the iPhone came out when I was in 7th grade.
I still remember the Razor.
The Razor,
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. And the Envy.
Do you remember the Razor? Do you remember the what?
The Envy?
The Envy? I remember my parents had the big one that you flipped open the bottom and you pulled the antenna up. Do you remember that with your parents?
No, I'm not that old.
You're not that
No.
Guys, something that will not go out of style. I don't care if we have 68 different versions of Snapchat, if text message continues to take over the world, emails. I don't care what happens, you will always, if you're a middle school, high school, college age student, you will always need to be able to communicate face to face with extreme effectiveness if you want to get a great job, if you want to get what you want, if you want to get people to like you better, if you want to get a great boyfriend or girlfriend or a great spouse. If you're not good at communicating face to face, and there's a whole bunch of different things we're going to teach you today, 4 things.
4 big tips.
4 big tips. Some of them you might know based on my beautiful drawing skills. But if you don't know these things, then chances are you will never become like Rebecca. Rebecca, last year, she took one of these lessons that we gave, and she went into an interview at Chick-fil-A? No.
I can't remember exactly where it was.
Vanish?
Might have been Vanish.
Okay, she went in for, let's say she went in for an interview at a restaurant called Vanish. She went in and we taught her one specific communication technique to separate her, because at the end of the day, there were like 400 people who submitted their resume that month, right? That's what happens when people go to get jobs. Everybody fills out the resume, turns them in, and do you really think that the employer reads them all, or the hiring manager? They don't. They don't. It's typically either the luck of the draw, or what people say all the time is, you got to know somebody. If you don't know somebody, then you're not going to get in. That would be true if it weren't for this one communication technique that we taught Rebecca that she went and did. What Rebecca did is when she went in to hand the resume, instead of just handing the resume to the person at the front desk and then walking away, she said, "Is the manager here by chance?" Front desk person goes, gets the manager, comes back. She says to the manager, "Sir, here's my resume. What do you look for in a great employee? What are the types of qualities that you're looking for in a great team member?" Like, if she came to me, she's hired. Like, above the other 399 people, she's hired, because that is very special. Before we dive in, anything to add on this overviewing topic, or you want to go right into the first one?
I think the big thing with that is when we presented the message a year ago, we really kept it applied to sport. And we talked about how you should do that with different coaches. If you're going to go for a club team, if you're trying to make that scholarship. And she took that lesson that we gave athlete specific and took it to the job place, which is even more awesome, because that's what it's all about. It's prepping you to get ready for life.
Yep. So first one, this is a technique. Great one. We all need more of this.
Big time. It is positive framing. I'm going to let him write because his handwriting's a little bit better than mine.
A lot better.
Oh, that's not better than mine. I could have done better. But positive framing, a lot of times when we have to approach a crucial conversation, we wait to that boiling point, right? So it might be an athlete's getting frustrated with their coach. It's the end of the game, emotions are boiling high, pressure's up, and they snap at their coach. And it's human nature that if you're getting abrasive and you're snapping at somebody, that person's going to get defensive and snap back. So we're trying to get the athletes to understand in those crucial conversations, you got to ease your way into it and have a conversation and not let emotions run high and explode into it. Because when you explode into it, it's going to explode back.
So a perfect example is Travis does something wrong and he makes me mad, right? And my emotions are boiling. Instead of going and attacking Travis's face, "Travis, I can't believe you did this. What the heck is wrong with you?" Like we all do typically, especially with your parents, right? You typically go at them. Yeah, you go at them without stopping and thinking, how are they going to hear this? Will they actually hear me and my concern or my request if I go into it attacking their face? Just get that visual. Attacking their face like a dog, or like baby Jack attacks my face sometimes. That's not what you want to do. You want to go in gently and you want to say, "Hey Travis, hey man, I know that you didn't mean it this way. I know that this was not your intention, but this is how it came off. Can we talk through this?" That's it. It's it. Slow to speak, slow to anger. This is another part of what we're teaching.
Yep.
Positive frame is the key. The second one, can you guess one of the easiest ways to separate yourself from the pack, to communicate like a leader, to get people to like you better, to get people on your side more and off your back? Guys, I'm telling you what, it's frowning, by the way. Just kidding. It's smiling. we're teaching the athletes this week that you are always communicating something. If your face is this, I don't know what you're communicating to me. You might be mad at me, you might be frustrated, you might be upset. I'm not saying to walk around all day long like this, right? That'd be like really weird, but you do want to purposefully smile. Like especially when you get around a coach or get around a possible employer or get around a person you like, for goodness sakes, like a boy or girl you like, you have to smile on purpose, even if you don't feel like it, because if you don't, then the person's never going to know what it is that you're actually trying to communicate. They're going to wonder, are they upset with me? Are they just a weirdo? Like, what's wrong with them? Like, just smile more. Smile, smile, smile. I see so many people they've got the glum face. What do we call it? Oh, there's a bad word for it. Never mind. We're not going to talk about that one. the face that you just...
Face. Yes.
Right, that one.
And I know a lot of athletes, they're unintentional about this one. And if you don't think about it, sometimes that upperclassman doesn't seem approachable from that upcoming freshman.
Oh.
And at the end of the season, they're like, wow, that person was so nice. Why was I afraid of him? Well, if you did this a little bit more, that freshman would have been easier influenced by you. They would have wanted to follow you. They would have came to you with the questions. It would have elevated that person to a better leader. So this one alone can help elevate that leadership ability big time. And
these two tie in together so well because if you walk into a conversation that you're about to have with somebody and you know it's going to be a tough conversation, a difficult one, and you're like this, right? That person's already, they can't hear what you're saying because 80% of communication is the next one we're going to talk about, but that person's not going to be receptive. So if you go into it with a little bit of a soft face, like it's kind of hard for me to smile right now before I say this. Travis, let's talk, brother. It's going to just come off differently, and their guard's going to be down. So smile before you go into frame a conversation positively.
Absolutely. So the next one, it's going to be 80% of communication is nonverbal. So we're diving into that posture and body language, okay? I've worked with some athletes that they get labeled lazy and that they don't care. And when I have the conversations with them, they care a lot. And they finish an exercise and they're motivated, they're killing it, and then in between their exercises, their shoulders slump down and they slowly walk to the next thing. All right, and from the outside looking in, the normal coach, maybe their parents are like, I want him to get a little bit of effort, I want him to get a little energy, I want him to care, but it's just because his body language is saying otherwise. When I talk to the kid, I know he's giving his best effort, he's going till failure, he's giving everything he has, but his body language says the other. So people are taking that as he doesn't care.
Guys, if you're an athlete listening to this, if you're a student in general, if you're a person in general, we need to stop saying the things like, that's just who I am. I'm just not the kind of person that smiles all the time. I'm just not the kind of person that sits up with good posture. Like, this is just more of me. If you do that for too long, you will be trapped and you will not get what you want out of life. Again, you can do those sorts of things, but you will never be a leader. And you will never get people to follow you and agree with you like you need. So even if this isn't you, you can, as my friend Dave Ramsey says, change, right? You can make a decision to change. It's that easy. And you might need a little bit of coaching and accountability along the way like Rebecca had, but that's what it's about. The last one.
So I got one more with this.
Yeah, go for it.
So another thing is a lot of these athletes, they're going to these college showcases, and baseball is a big one. The coaches see your body language, they see your posture. What do you do after you strike out? Okay, because you're going to take that stinking thinking back into the dugout? Absolutely not. You got to check it. You got to get your chest up, get back to the dugout, okay? Because coaches are going to pay attention to that because they don't want to bring in that negative energy to their dugout, to their team, to their culture. So understand that coaches watch for this when they're coming to your showcases.
Ask your parents to film you during the not so good times. We all have great body language and we're all smiling when things are going well, but truthfully, coaches, employers, boyfriend, girlfriend, future husband, wife, they want to see what you're like when things are not going well. So have people film you not just during the good times, but the bad times, and so that way you can see yourself. Because I've seen myself sometimes, whether it's talking in front of a camera a couple years ago, I was really, really bad, like about having like this kind of face, and I'm serious, I was terrible. I'm not that great still, I'm working on it, but I'm much better about purposefully having good posture. All right, the last one.
This is a big, big one.
Eye contact. If I'm looking down or away from somebody who's talking, what am I communicating to them? It doesn't matter what I mean to communicate or what I'm feeling, how do they perceive it? I'm either uncertain, which isn't a good thing. No one wants a person on their team that is uncertain. Unconfident, which goes along with uncertain, or uninterested. If you're on a date and you're looking away from the person, and you're wondering why they didn't call you back, it's probably because they thought you were uninterested. You didn't even look at them in the eyes. Guys, our eyes are like one of the most beautiful things that God gave us, and we're supposed to look at each other's eyes. We're supposed to look into each other's eyes, not like staring through somebody's soul while you're talking at them without blinking, right? You got to blink every once in a while. Blink. Right? Every once in a while. Every once in a while. But eye contact is just so important. So if you guys can focus on 1, 2, maybe you do a couple of these well, but you need like a different one, like positive framing. You got to work on your approach to conversations better, not eating someone's face or attacking somebody's face. Pick your one and just start doing it and watch how things change. Coaches will start to talk to you differently. People will start to want to be around you more. They'll act differently around you. And it's not about how you do these things when things are going well. It's about how you do these things when things aren't going well, when you're upset, when you're frustrated. Flip the switch, snap the band, and do these things and watch how it transforms your life into one of a leader. Because there's more followers than leaders. You guys know that, right? The reason why there's so few leaders is because so few people are good at these things during the tough times.
Yeah, and the big thing is what I've been saying is if you want to elevate from good to great in any area of your life, I don't care if it's gymnastics, I don't care if it's football, baseball, or getting that internship, that job, you get better at these things, you get better at this, you're going to elevate in whatever you want to be great at. So take this challenge, try to pick one, and don't gravitate to the one that comes easy to you. Like Andrew said, I have athletes, I know they're smiley. Hey, pick another one, let's work on that one now.
Yep. Guys, so life is not about being perfect, it's about making progress. Pick your one and keep working to get better. As long as you're not stagnant and saying to yourself, I don't need to change, I'm good, then you're in good shape. Keep making progress, give yourself pats on the back where needed. Don't focus on the 1 B that you got, focus on the 4 A's, right? Don't have that perfectionist mentality. Keep making progress, you're doing great. We'll see you next week, Tuesday, 12:15. Have a great rest of your day.
Hey, 7 days to get better.
See you guys.